Just do it. Do the thing. Don't wait till tomorrow. You need to do it right now. You may have seen that viral weird moment from forever ago from that star that was in Transformers that I forgot his name, but it doesn't matter. All I need you to know is you need to start doing the hard stuff that you don't want to do. In this case, we're going to talk about practicing. We're going to talk about how to get started, because in my opinion, that is the hard part. How do you get started doing things that you're not currently doing? Because let's face it, there's many things in our life that we tell ourselves, not tell you, although I'm telling you right now, they're important to us, but we're not actively doing them. And our life is suffering because of that. It could be health, it could be finances, it could be fitness, it could be music, it could be the arts, it could be anything. But today, again, we're going to specifically focus on practicing because that is my wheelhouse and that's what I'm passionate about. But again, insert whatever hard thing you have in this category. It should apply to you. So don't tune away if you're like, music, I don't want to do that. Again, could be anything. Let's talk about first what the problem is. And in my opinion, the problem stems from either one of two things. Either you think something's important, but it's not actually important in your life. You're subconsciously not putting a priority on it. So let's imagine a scenario where you're working a 9-to-5 job and you want to practice piano. But every time you get home, you go, I got to eat. So then you eat. And then you're like, okay, I got to put the kids to bed. So then you put the kids to bed. Then you're like, I'm tired. I'm going to watch TV now. Well, here's the deal. It's not that piano wasn't important to you. And it's not that you didn't try to do piano. It's that other things were more important to you. It was more important that you ate. Probably true. It was more important that you went to work. Probably also true. It was more important that you put your kids down. Probably also true. It was more important that you relax. Possibly true, but maybe not necessarily true. Maybe if you gave it that little bit of mental pressure to get beyond the hurdle of starting, you would have actually relaxed more playing piano than you would have watching TV. That is not for me to judge. Let me just, again, put it a different way. I am a professional musician. When I relax, I rarely relax by playing music or by practicing. Here's the reason why. I do it for a living. So for me, playing a video game is sometimes a higher priority because it will relax me. So this is where you have to be honest with yourself and decide, am I setting up priorities the way that I want them to be, not only for today, but who I want to be in 6 months from now? Who do I want to be in 5 years from now? If a huge personal goal is to be able to play the piano well, I can tell you right now, even if it's a good thing that you're prioritizing, if it's not playing the piano, then you're not going to achieve your goals. Maybe you love to paint, but again, it's a personal goal to play the piano in 5 years. Well, you may need to lay back on the painting. There's only so many hours in the day. So I would say one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we're lazy and that we prioritize things that are not good for us. And the truth is, most people I talk to who are adults and competent at their life and living life, I find they're very good at prioritizing things that are important to them. They're just not very honest at what things are the most important to them. And then there may be some cleaning up here and there in the details and the margins because they just haven't been paying attention. Let's talk about option number 2, though, as to what might be causing the problem. And that is, it's hard. These things are hard. Practicing piano and getting good at piano is very challenging and requires a lot of time. Most things that require a lot of time and are very challenging, we get financially compensated for, and that provides a huge feedback loop that motivates us heavily to do them. As well, parenting is very difficult, but it's a necessity the moment you have a child. And so all but the most negligent parents end up doing the hard thing because we're forced to. And also we know if we don't do the hard thing and we don't actively mentor and nurture our children, our life will actually be significantly worse. So even though, yes, there is an altruistic piece where I'm trying to help my kids, it's also selfish because I don't want to be raising little monsters. Let's talk about how to solve this problem. And I would say that the huge benefit is going to be starting with doing a little bit at the beginning. You want to just think about starting out. Almost tell yourself, oh, I'm just going to start. 5 minutes of this, no problem. Because let's be honest, once you start, you just got to start. Then everything else is going to go smoothly after that point. So let's go through a few different strategies I've come up with that might help you get started. Just do it. It's the Nike slogan. It's that other dude. It's a cool saying because the honest truth is if you just start, you're going to be fine. So you just need to make a commitment. Hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to practice piano every day. You make that commitment, you go for it, and you do it. And guess what? What you'll find is some days you do it right away. It's wonderful. Other days you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And I used to joke with my wife. I said I was going to do 100 push-ups every day. And it would be like 11:30 at night. And I'd be like, I didn't let the sun go down. I'm doing my push-ups. And she would chuckle because, again, the sun's been down for like 5 or 6 hours. But the point I was trying to make is I'm not going to let the sun go down. I'm not going to let the day finish me go to bed without doing what I said I was going to do. Let's go to another one. Start with something easy and fun. Maybe you love to play with the recordings. Maybe you just want to improvise and mess around. Maybe you like to play with sound effects on your keyboard. It doesn't matter. Just make it fun and easy and breezy, and that will let you get into playing and then move on to the things you probably need to do to get better. If you're a beginner, anything at the piano is going to make you better. As you get older and more invested, you're going to find you have to do things you do not like to get better at the piano. But don't start with those things. Start with stuff that's easy and breezy, and then it's going to make it fun, and then you'll keep going. On the other hand, you may be hustle, grind set man or woman or whatever. I'm just saying, hustle mindset, wake up at 3 in the morning, I get all my work done by 6 a.m. I'm out to coffee by 7, whatever. If that's your mindset, you may actually need to take the opposite and make it challenging for yourself and say, you know what, the hard thing I know that's going to make me better, I'm going to do that first. It's going to make me feel so good, I'll be motivated for the rest of the day. If that's you, more power to you. Let's keep moving on. Remove obstacles and distractions. Our life in modern times is filled with distractions. I'm not the first person to tell you this. You hear it all the time. What you need to do is minimize those. Put the phone away, put the iPad away, take the screens away, and try to find a way to use the time wisely and be able to insulate yourself. Now, this removing of distractions and obstacles can even be potentially an equipment purchase because let's say you got an acoustic piano, it's 2 in the morning, that's the one time you feel like motivated to play because you're a night owl, you can't play because it's going to disturb people. Buy yourself a keyboard. Just go out and get it. Get some headphones. Whatever you need to do to remove any obstacles from playing and remove any distractions. Clean up around your instrument so there's room so you don't have to have that psychological barrier of like, I gotta clean this. Get your piano tuned. If your piano sounds bad, you're not gonna want to play. All right, next thing. Do it first thing in the morning. And I would recommend whatever the current thing is that you're struggling with that would heavily improve your life. Is it you're an entrepreneur and you need to get a certain more acquisitions and leads going? Is it that you need to practice so you can get better at your instrument? Is it that you need to talk and have conversations with your kids about something? Whatever that one thing is that would drastically improve your life, do that thing first in the morning. Is it exercising? Is it eating right? Start the day right. If you start the day right, it'll probably go well the whole day. I'm telling you, it's hard to do, especially if you're not a morning person, but it is important. I'm going to get into some weird ones. The ones before you've probably heard a million times before by any self-help, motivational speaker. Now I'm going to get into some more niche ones that you probably don't hear people mention as much. Distract into doing. What in the world? What does that even mean? Let's be honest. We're all addicted to our phones. We're all addicted to entertainment. We love watching videos. We love playing video games, etc., etc. You can actually distract yourself into doing stuff if what you're trying to do is something very mindless to get really rolling. So like, let's say you have to practice scales and work on technique because you just need to get your fingers moving better. What you can do, you can throw on YouTube. TikTok probably doesn't work because it's too short of videos, but something that you don't have to be swiping away at. chuck that YouTube video on, chuck that Netflix show on, practice away. It works really well as long as it doesn't become the only way you practice. If it becomes the only way you practice, your brain gets numb, falls out of your skull, and then you got to call in the paramedics because your brain's on the floor and everyone's upset. Your wife's upset at you because you've just made a mess because now you got brain juice on the floor. You get my drift. But it's a very helpful thing to do. And sometimes what you'll find is those days that you're really lacking motivation to get going, that's enough to get you started. And then once you're started, you can transition away. You go, okay, I owe it to myself. I'm already here. I'm already practicing. You put the phone down. Now you're off to the races going. Let's talk about a couple more. Reward yourself. Let's say it's Halloween time. You got a bunch of candy lying around the house. You're planning to have let's not lie to ourselves, 10 fun-sized Kit Kats. Well, instead of having the 10 fun-sized Kit Kats just randomly throughout your day because you're an adult and I can do whatever I want, I'm going to tell myself I will not touch a Kit Kat until I practice. That's pretty cool. It's empowering. It actually makes us feel good twice. It makes us feel good first because we're responsible and that feels good. And then it also makes us feel good because we get to have a Kit Kat. Win-win. Also, you can tell somebody. If you tell someone else something that you're planning on doing, when they circle back around and they're like, hey, how's that practicing going? It's so embarrassing when you don't do it. And then it's going to motivate you to really keep pushing and really keep doing the hard thing. I wanted to give you some different strategies that I personally use that I've heard from other people. Let me know if any of these resonate and help. And until next time, thanks so much for watching and have a great week.